Well, hello there. Welcome to my video this week. I'm Karen from karenandtara.org. This week I'm talking about authenticity, but before I move on to that, I just want to remind you that I have a free masterclass coming this week called Get Aligned and Get Abundant, and I would love to have you join me for that. There's details, I'll put the link below. And just to let you know, it is a live masterclass, but if you can't be there live, no worries, just register anyway and you'll get the replay. I wanted to say that before I move on to this week's video, which is authenticity. Authenticity is the new black, is what I'm calling. I can't help but notice the weirdness that's going on all around me. It's like we are having constant timeline glitches, I think, as the world recalibrates and more truth is revealed. And as the saying goes, we ain't seen nothing yet. So I think we're in for a few surprises, let's say. And as much as we think we know, we probably know nothing. A tiny snippet probably is what we know, but we think we know a lot, don't we? Actually, the older I've got, the more I realise that I know less. I know nothing. I'll talk about that in a moment, though. So when I look back over the years to what I thought I knew, what I have spoken about, and even taught, to be perfectly honest with you, I look back and realise that it wasn't what I thought it was. Some of it still sticks, of course, but other parts, no. It's just not resonating with me anymore. I used to teach channeling many years ago, and now, to be honest, most of the channeled material I don't trust. It doesn't feel either aligned with me or it's not carrying the right vibration of truth. I think I've touched on that a few months ago in a video about channeling and mediumship. So go back and have a look at that. If you can't find it, DM me and I'll look it up for you. But as I say, I used to teach it and now I just don't trust what's coming through. I used to try lots and lots of New Age modalities, and I simply wouldn't go near them these days, many of them. There are always some that stick, of course, because they're consistent, they're tried and tested, and most importantly, they're grounded. Let's talk about grounding for a moment. It's been proven that grounding is vitally important to health. It reduces inflammation, it calms the nerves and the nervous system, and so much more. There's a great movie called The Earthing Movie. I think you can find it on YouTube. And because I love a little bit of synchronicity in my life, when I got up this morning and I checked my favourite podcast, he's got a great short 9-minute podcast, teaching perhaps if you like, all about grounding. So I'm going to link that below because I love this guy. He's so concise and to the point. Look that up about grounding. So moving on with my notes. Many people in spiritual communities, they want to walk around barefoot. They want to connect with the earth and they sing the praises of Mother Earth and Gaia and all of that stuff. Yet they can't wait to leave their body in some kind of meditation or ceremony experience. And the other thing I've noticed is that they don't want to go deep into their body to do the shadow work or the trauma healing, which is vital, actually, if we want to evolve, All they want to do, it seems, is be out of their body having some kind of profound spiritual experience. And they do feel good. I can't deny that. There's also quite an addictive quality to that if you're not careful. The question is, does this profound out-of-body spiritual experience last? Does it change them in a positive and sustainable way? Or is it something that just stays with them for a little while before they revert back to the same kind of person they were before with unhealed stuff? Because we all have that, if we're not continuing to work through it. So the question is, has there been a positive shift in consciousness? Have they evolved? Or was it just a short-lived feel-good experience? And, that's okay as well. It's not that we should never have feel-good experiences. I'm not trying to say that at all. Society today is addicted to instant gratification. You can access pretty much anything you want, any information you want, within seconds now on your device, which reminds me, let me put mine on silent. There you go, because it's always close by, isn't it, these days? A lot of people even wear them. I see them talking while they're on the treadmill. There's just no getting away from these things. Anyway, we know that Google leads us to what it wants us to believe because of the algorithms. There's a whole video on algorithms, I'm sure, but we know that it leads us to what it wants us to know over what it doesn't really want us to know, because it likes to hide things in the depths, a little bit like we do with our emotions. If we're not conscious and really wanting to evolve, let's just shove it down a little bit deeper and ignore it, shall we? Even though it's a trauma that I could really heal and benefit from. But anyway, that's a video for another day too. So much that we could talk about. Let me go back to my notes. It's much safer if I stay on track with my notes. Google leads us to what it wants us to believe, giving us instant access so that we don't have to dig deeper or research too far. I read some, I'm off notes again already. I read some research recently that shows that most people look at the first 3 or 4 items that Google presents to them, and they take their information just from that. They never dig deeper. I thought that was interesting and true. AI answers everything we ask it, telling us what to think and knowing that if it tells us that enough times consistently, we will believe it, because that's exactly how the mind works. And that's how you program your mind, which is why they wanted you watching TV at 11 a.m. every morning, so that you could easily accept the program. Let's not go there. AI trusts that you will take what it says and not dig deeper to find your own truth, because that takes more work, and everyone wants to be an instant expert these days, so you're unlikely to dig deep or to take the long path. My goodness, AI can write whole books for us in minutes, maybe a couple of hours at most. I think it's quicker than that. AI can write whole courses for us. AI can write sales pages for us. And that marketing sounds really good, because AI uses all of the sales psychology required to really hook your client in. So it sounds great. I question, though, does a person using AI to write their course and AI to write their marketing material, does that person really know what they're talking about? Have they had an embodied experience of what they're teaching? And not necessarily is the truth to that. So they may have got an inkling of it, because you have to put in the right questions into AI, I gather. I've never used it and I don't plan to. You have to put the right questions in, you have to put the right ideas in. So, of course, the person using it in that way will have some knowledge, but is it a deep embodied experience of it? That's my question. Because I'm looking at authenticity, of course. Authenticity is one of my highest values. So in my own work and teaching, I have whittled it down over the years to the point that I only teach now, and pretty much only talk about what I really know quite well, very well. I only teach and use in my therapies and in my mentor coaching, all of the work that I do. I only use what I love and what I have seen gets results. That's me being authentic with tried and tested embodied experience. So over the almost 30 years that I've been, let's say, exploring all of these modalities and therapies and ideas, principles, over those 30 years, there are many things that I used to talk about and I feel are no longer true for me. I appreciate that my journey through them has led me to where I am now. So I'm not saying they were all wrong, they were all terrible, but they just are no longer in alignment for me. So I've kind of dumped them. So unceremoniously in some instances. So there will be things that I've written, videos that I've spoken about things that no longer resonate with me. It was something, and quite honestly, sometimes it wasn't a fully embodied experience. I had learnt it from a teacher or something, and I had passed it on verbatim, but I had not had the real genuine experience of it. That's maybe a mistake. Maybe it's a learning process. I see lots and lots of other people doing it too. Maybe it is a learning experience. But all I can say is that now I've whittled it down so that I'm very specific that what I talk about and what I work with is embodied, has a real, genuine, lived experience, and it's something I believe and I love. So that's me being authentic. I have lots of other things that I could do and that I could teach because I've learnt them thoroughly, but I don't love doing them, so I don't. Even when people write to me and ask if I can help them with X, Y, and Z, no, I won't do it if I don't love doing it because it feels inauthentic to me. Sure, there's money involved. So I could do a particular thing with a client and think, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just give them what they want because I do know how to do it and I'll just take the money. But I don't love it, so I won't do it. So I actually get quite a few letters, emails. People write to me asking me to do, demonic entity release or help them with their alien abduction traumas and things like that. I have done that in the past. I don't love doing it. I don't do it anymore. That's that. I have lots of other things that I'm exploring, but I don't know the truth of them yet. So if I talk about stuff like that, I'm going to say, I'm looking at this. I'm exploring this. My knowledge is not embodied. And so I'll happily tell you that I don't really know that yet. And again, that's me being honest and authentic. People ask me things about angels quite often. I don't really think I've had a true lived-in embodied experience with angels. I see them around people sometimes in readings, and I will share that with them because it obviously means something to them. But me, no, I don't really do the angel thing much. So you won't see me talking. There won't be a video about angels anytime soon. I can spot a fake a mile away, actually. And the thing is that if someone is saying something that is not true, let me reword that. If someone is saying something but the experience is not embodied yet, you can feel it. It's kind of like the information can be good, but it doesn't land really well if that person doesn't have a full embodied experience of it, or if they don't love what they're doing. That's been my personal experience anyway. You can feel whether it's fully landed or not. And it may be truthful. I'm not saying that they're lying or anything. It's just that it's not fully authentic to them yet. The vibration of truth and the vibration of authenticity is very different, and you can feel it if you pay attention. You can train yourself to feel it, actually. And not everyone is out there to get you. It's not all fake. It's not all lies. And some people are trying really hard to be who they want to be. But you can't do that just with words. You have to look at the actions as well. You have to look at the whole lived experience of it, I believe. So fake it till you make it sounds great. And, you know, there is some truth to that as well. Fake it till you make it can look good, but if it's not authentic, again, you will feel that. So we have a vision of who we want to become, and we move towards becoming that person. And if you do it genuinely and authentically, then I think that's beautiful. It's aspirational. But if you set out to trick people to believing you are already that, that's where it turns into not a little bit of fake, a lot of fake, right? Let's be honest. For example, I can't teach you how to become, a multiple millionaire in 6 months because I haven't done it. I haven't got that lived in experience. And if I start talking in those terms, you'll probably know I'm fake. So that's the kind of thing that I'm referring to there. Authentic is good, genuine is good, and that's what I'm all about. So, full disclosure here, I have an honours degree in holistic nutrition, and I'm also a certified health coach. But I don't practice as that, even though I'm qualified to, because I actually don't walk the talk in that. So you would see me saying one thing about nutrition, and quite honestly, doing a different thing in my own personal life. That to me is not authentic. I'm not judging anyone, please. I'm just talking about myself. I don't think I can lead by example very well when it comes to nutrition. I don't eat junk food or anything like that. But, talking about vitamins and minerals and macros and micros, and I just find it boring. I find it boring. I can't stick to a diet for longer than 3 days. So who am I to talk to you about nutrition, right? Doesn't make me a bad person. I just can't show up genuinely or authentically as a nutritionist. I could learn to be that, though, if I wanted to. And this is the point, right? I have done all the training. I have done, it's an honours degree. So it's 4 years of study. I kind of know a few things. But, the point is we all have to start somewhere. So I did my training, but I don't have an experience of working with clients so that I could really have the full embodied experience of being a nutritionist. But I could have if I wanted to apply myself to it. So please don't think that, if you've just finished your training, I'm not calling you a fake by any means, because I do believe that you are genuine and you are studying your craft and you're developing it, and you will gain the wisdom and experience of years. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that deliberately go out to create this big facade of something that they're not. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about truth and authenticity. So I can't claim to know nutrition well. But when it comes to meditation, I have a consistent practice that's been with me for almost 30 years. I've explored many dimensions and realms and other planes of existence and things like that. And it is an embodied experience, and it is authentic. And I have thousands of hours of meditation under my belt. And some people say you need 10,000 hours, I think it is, to call yourself a master of something. So I have more than that, but I don't really like that title. So there it is. It is said that we are evolving into 5D. But the point is that as we evolve, we do naturally unfold levels of consciousness from within us if we go within us. If we go within, not out. So I'm even questioning what this whole 5D thing is, to be perfectly honest with you. For years and years, I didn't use the term 5D because it's actually so much more than just 5D. When I do a healing session with someone, I'm looking at 12 dimensions, really, or that's the information that's coming through. That's how I am interpreting what I'm receiving as information, which I pick up from your energy field. So I didn't use the words 5D or that term for many years. But then everyone likes 5D and they seem to know what I mean when I say 5D. So I use 5D, but it's kind of not really 100% accurate. But coming up with another word that people understand has been challenging for me. So if you have a better word for me, please send it. And if it feels right, I'll use that. Anyway, that's another side note. Off my notes. See, it's dangerous when I don't read my notes. As I was saying, as we grow and evolve, we naturally unfold these levels of consciousness and knowing and awareness, inner knowing you could call it. But you have to go in to find that. And what you find when you leave your body and go elsewhere in some of these practices is not a real embodied experience, because you're not going in the body. It's not in here that you're getting the knowledge. It's something outside. And we know that with projections and, hijacking and all of this stuff that goes on in these other dimensions, most of it in the astral plane where people go, even though they think they've gone further. It can be dangerous to take everything at face value, which is why I'm talking about an embodied experience. A true, authentic, genuine, lived-in experience. There is a saying that the deeper you go in, the higher you reach or expand. I believe that to be true. You simply can't evolve your consciousness and raise your vibration if you are holding on to fears and limitations and trauma and emotional blocks and wounds. And if you're not willing to look at that stuff and heal it and clear it, because it's heavy, that's heavy emotion. The lies and the deceit and the fake and all of that stuff, that's very heavy too. It's not aligned with truth. There's no light in that. And that's why, as we move forward in time, even though time doesn't exist as we know it, again, that's another whole conversation about what time really means. But as we go forwards in time, I'll use the word, the gap between those who are aligned to truth and light and have done the inner work and those with the heaviness and the deceit and the lies and the untruth that are not willing to work on their stuff, that gap will become wider and wider. And potentially that's why you will see relationships breaking down, groups falling apart, losing friends left, right and centre. Just that feeling that you just can't connect with the people you used to connect with. It's kind of like we're on different paths, we're actually on different vibrations. But I'm seeing this all around me. People feeling really pained to have lost friends that they've had for 20 or 30 years because we're just not on the same wavelength anymore, So as we move forward, things are going to uncover in this world and in your personal life too, I would think, in ways that are unprecedented. So people that have been hiding secrets are going to be left with nowhere to hide. It's all going to reveal. And if you're into karma, you might say, well, that's their karma catching up with them. But in any case, truth always reveals in the end, and we're in that time frame now. And it will be shocking, I was going to say for some, but probably for all of us, because as I say, there are things going to reveal that we have no clue of yet. So hold on to your hats. So you might think that vibration or frequency is a new agey kind of thing, but no, it can be scientifically measured, has been for a long while. It's real, and lots of researchers have been doing this. In spiritual circles, we used to think that love was the highest vibration, unconditional love, really, taking it to a whole other level. And perhaps that's why people like to say love and light everywhere in those communities. But actually, it has been shown by scientists that measure this stuff that authenticity is at least 4 times a stronger vibration than love on the vibrational scale. To hold the vibrational level of authenticity, researchers have said that a person's words must be true and they must believe them to be true. So that raised my eyebrows, and I've been pondering something here. Because I've seen people, and I've done it myself, believe that what they were saying is true without knowing that it's not true, that it's false information. I think we've all done a little bit of that. It's almost like we pass on something, believing it to be so, and then maybe later we go, oh, actually that was wrong. We've all done that, I'm guessing. It surprised me sometimes to discover that what I had shared was not true or accurate. And of course, with social media now, we see that all over the place. And as I mentioned, with the Google, with the artificial intelligence, it's giving us information that we haven't researched ourselves fully, or we haven't done the depth of research to fully understand it. So it made me question this stuff, because if you pass on information that's not true and then you find out it's not true, does that make you a liar? Does that make you a fool because you were sucked in? Does it make you a fake? I've been looking at all of that, pondering it really. Should I have researched deeper and further before I shared some stuff? Probably yes, I should. But then I trusted that person that told me that. I took it on good faith, didn't give it much more thought, and just said, oh, this is the way things are. And that's why, over years now, probably since around 2013 or 14, I've been stripping back things so that I try my very best not to pass on things that I don't know absolutely to be true. So coming back to this authenticity thing. If we share information that is not true, but we don't know it's not true, do we hold a different vibration in terms of authenticity as someone who shares information that is true and is proven to be true? So kind of what I'm looking at is, can we be fully authentic if what we're talking about is not true, even if we believe it to be true? Is there a difference in that vibration? So I know that's kind of a little bit wild, and maybe it's all too much to think about, and maybe we shouldn't be thinking about it, but that's where my mind went, and I thought I'd share it with you. So if you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them as well. As I said, I've removed all the things that don't feel true and authentic to me because I really want that alignment. And I hope that it's created a shift in my vibration. Certainly, a few people have said to me, I don't know why, but something's changed in you in recent years. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's just that I've got older and wiser. What we surround ourselves with, though, affects our field. And to be in integrity with what you say and believe, you have to walk the talk, and that's when you become authentic. So I have also removed myself from anything that wasn't fully in alignment for me. That will change my energy field too. And of course, I'm talking about me, but it's exactly the same for you. Move away from the things that are not really in alignment with you, and your whole vibrational field will change, because the other stuff just pulls us down. So if our words and our beliefs create the vibration of authenticity, that's surely a field that we want to hold, right? Because if authenticity is such a high vibration, higher than love, imagine holding that in your energy field the whole time, knowing full well that that has got a rippling out effect around you. And that's partly, I think, why we're seeing people move away from other people, relationships break down and things like that, because it's almost like two opposing fields. They can't exist in the same space or something like that. I'm not a quantum scientist, so I probably haven't got the right terminology for that. But anyway, that's what I'm pondering, because everything has a vibrational, everything that you think, say, feel, every behavior has a vibration, and it will affect your field, whether you're aware of it or not. So that's me pondering the embodied experience of something. In any case, what I know from experience is that my work is more powerful in the areas of what I know and what I have lived experience of. You can't fake a lived-in experience. And whilst we all still can experience the same thing but perceive it differently and give it a different meaning, the point is it is still a lived-in experience. If 3 or 4 of us were in a room, maybe one of us standing at each corner, and something happened in the centre of the room, we would all be viewing it from a slightly different angle, a different viewpoint, a different experience, in a sense. We would all be correct in what we experienced of being in that room when that thing happened. So we don't always have to agree with everything. But if we were there, if it was a lived-in, genuine experience, then it is true for us. Now, these real and embodied experiences also can point us in the direction of our soul purpose. And once we've done the healing around the core wounds or the soul wounds that hold us back, that's when we become really powerful in what we have to offer the world. And it's authentic then too. And people can feel it. And if it's your business, for example, and you talk about it, people feel the authenticity in that. And that is then when it really does become the source of your abundance, because it's a genuine lived experience. And that amplifies out into the field around you. It's very palpable, actually, when someone is really on track and living their purpose. Of course, they still always got to do, prior to that, and ongoing, their shadow work, the going deep within to find, what's holding them back from stepping into their next level. So our work never really ends, right? It's a bit of a journey to get there. But, that's the deep inner work that I keep talking about and trying to encourage you to do, because you can't take a shortcut to this. You will never fully achieve authenticity, the authenticity that you're searching for, or the abundance, actually, if you're not willing to do that development work within yourself. So it really is worthwhile doing the work consistently over a longer period of time, because you can't, some of our traumas and emotional blocks and pains and limitations and fears have been with us 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Some of my clients 60 years. And you can't clear all that up in 5 minutes. It takes time. And I have to say that the clients that I work with on a consistent basis over a longer period of time are always seeing amazing, exciting, profound transformations in their life. More joy, more love, more peace, more fulfillment, more freedom, and yes, more money as well. Because they're doing the inner work. That's the soul embodiment work. And it's not a 5-minute thing. They know this is consistent. It's a little bit like our diet. It's a little bit like our exercise. We can't expect great results if we do it for 5 minutes or we do it for a couple of times. And even when we begin to feel ourselves getting fitter or developing muscle, you don't go, oh, that's it, I'm done now, I'm fixed. No, this is a consistent thing. We know that with cleaning our teeth. We know that with exercise and nutrition, as I said. So why would our spiritual work, our emotional body, our soul work, why would that be any different? It's consistent, it's long-term, and I really encourage you to dig deep and get that done, because how you will feel afterwards, it's like night and day. So that's about it from me today. A quick reminder again of my free upcoming masterclass, Get Aligned, Get Abundant. I'm going to go into a little bit of what I've talked about today, really about the power of your mind to create what you want in that free class. As I say, there's a replay if you want it. I'll put a link below, or DM me if you want to find, get the link. And if you're ready to dig deep and really work consistently to get profound transformation, then join one of my programs. DM me, let's have a chat, and I'll see if it's the right fit for you. That's probably all I should say today, because I've talked for a long time. Well, I hope you have a great week. If this has been helpful to you, please share it with a friend that might find value as well. Like, share, subscribe, as they say, and look me up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Karen and Tara, Energy Coach. Okie doke. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye-bye.